Cuba, it's me, episode 33 of the W.I.L.L.I.W show, which stands for Wrestling is Life, Life is Wrestling. Now on today's show, I wanted to talk all about wrestling schools, pro wrestling schools in Ontario, which ones you should go to and which ones you shouldn't. But before I get into that, I just wanted to talk a little bit about yesterday's episode, episode 32. I made a list of the top 15 Ontario veterans. Now I got a lot of feedback, a lot of messages about this. No one really posted on public, but privately I got a lot of messages. A lot of people were not happy with who I put on the list, and a lot of people were not happy on who I forgot to put on the list. And I just want to say my goal of this was just to get people talking and get their passion going about who they really look up to and who they've been around. I want to see people send in their own list. But I don't want to talk about the people that I was getting bashed in my private messages saying they shouldn't be on there, whether they're good wrestlers or not. I just wanted to give them their props for being around so long, and they have contributed in some way or another. This is a positive show, so I'm not going to get into the negative and drop any of the names that people were upset with. But I do want to say I got a lot of messages saying Tornado should have been on that list. And I agree with that 100%. I don't know how I forgot him. I did it so quick. Once I had the 15 names that I was just set, there's a couple other people I left off the list as well. Rip Impact got a lot of mentions as well, and I agree with him also. But I'm not going to do the list again. And I just want to say sorry to the people that I forgot, and to the people that say that I shouldn't have put these people on the list. Well, you may be right. I mean, it's just my opinion. I'm not saying that my opinion ranks higher than anyone. I just wanted to get people talking, and apparently I did. So thank you for all the feedback. I do appreciate it, and it's good to know people are watching the show. So anyway, on to today's episode. Wrestling schools in Ontario. Now, I was going to do a list of this one too, and rank them. But you know what? I don't feel that's fair, because I haven't gone to any of them. I've only heard what other people have said, and for the most part, everything I've heard has been good about all of them. Now, there's 8 that are running that I know of. I'm not sure if Squared Circle, or Rob Fiego and Ron Hutchison still have schools, but the 8 that I do know of, I'm sorry if I missed any other ones, but the 8 that I do know of, I've heard nothing but great things. There's Can-Am, which is in Windsor, run by Scott Demore and a bunch of others, and this is great. Not only do they have the wrestling school, they run shows BCW, so you might get an opportunity to get booked on the shows. But think about Scott Demore. He's been around for 25 plus years. He has incredible knowledge. He's trained some of the best wrestlers in the world. His contacts, he has tons of contacts. He's got a lot of respect from people. Geza used to tell me stories about him and Scott Demore doing MMA back in Brazil. And Scott Demore had some tryouts with WWF in 1995. And also, he was a big part of TNA, especially at the beginning with the whole Team Canada thing. So you can't go wrong going to that school. Then also, there's Battle Arts Academy in Mississauga, Ontario, which was founded by Santino Marella. Now, not only do they do pro wrestling, they do MMA and jiu-jitsu and a bunch of stuff. And they also run shows in their school. So not only will you get trained properly, you're going to get the opportunity to get a chance to hone your craft in front of an audience. And think about the contacts that Santino has. He's got a lot of respect from a lot of the WWE guys and everyone in Ontario as well. And not only that, when the WWE guys are in town, a lot of them will drop by his gym just to say hi to him and train and make use of the ring and whatnot. So that's a great one to go to as well. Now there's also Super Kicked in Toronto, which I've been told is run by Ashley Six and Chris Chambers. Correct me if I'm wrong, I do apologize, that's just what someone told me. And these guys have been around forever. They know their stuff, they've been around great minds, they have great minds for the business themselves. And they also run their own shows, so if you're a student of theirs, there's an opportunity to perhaps become part of the show as well. So that's in Toronto. Now we also have CWF in St. Catharines, which was opened by Chris Thorne. I believe Eric Carney's one of the trainers. There's a couple other guys there. This is a great school. Thorne has tours that he runs. He also runs student shows and then CWF. The guy's been around for 20 years. He knows his stuff. All the people that he has training for him know their stuff. And that's in St. Catharines, and you can't go wrong with that one. Then we have Crossbody in Kitchener, and that I believe is run by Ben Ortmans and Notorious TID. Now Ben reminds me of kind of like a Dallas Page kind of guy. He's very positive. He's good at motivating people. Notorious TID is very creative. He's been around. He's seen it all, done it all. And between the two of them, you're going to get trained properly. They also have a lot of seminars there where people come in and do guest training. So you're going to get trained properly there. And also, they run their own shows too. So there's an opportunity to, to go further from after the training is over. Then there's also Body Slammers in Ottawa, Ontario. I believe it's run by Wayne Craterman. D'Lo Brown and Al Snow helped him open it, and they have nothing but respect for him. And he's been around a lot of people in the business, and he has got a good reputation. I haven't heard a lot about the school, but I know when I Googled it, it said they're accepting students for May 2017. So get on that, folks. Get on that. And then we also have Bloody Bill's school in Brantford, Ontario. And I believe him and Caitlin Diamond are the trainers there, or at least they used to be. And he runs his own shows, the Lucha Slam shows. So if you get trained there, there's an opportunity to be on those shows or the Stranglehold. You're going to get trained properly there as well. I mean, Caitlin Diamond's been all around the world, Japan and Mexico, and she's seen it all and done it all. A lot of work in the States as well. Bloody Bill's been around like 20 plus years, so you can't go wrong with that. And then also recently in the last 6 months opened Hamilton Pro Wrestling Academy, which I believe was started by Rip Impact, and they've been doing really well for themselves already. Not only do they have an incredible number of students, a lot of the local Hamilton wrestlers will go there to train, but there's been about 3 shows already in Ontario in the last 2 months where their students have already got their first matches and tryouts with some of the federations in Ontario. So obviously he's got some good connections there. He's got a lot of respect. Everybody knows Rip Impact. I mean, I can't name one person in Ontario wrestling who hasn't met Rip Impact, because I believe he's gone to almost every single show ever put on. So I think I covered them all. I got Can-Am, I got Battle Arts, Super Kick, Crossbody, Lucha, Hamilton Pro Wrestling, Body Slammers. Yeah, I believe that's all of them. So I just want to say, go to these schools, guys. Even if you're already been trained, sign up with a couple of them. Even if you can only go 1 day a week and go to 3 different ones. Every teacher will teach you a different way and see things from their own point of view. And you can incorporate everything you learn from different minds. It's good to not just be at one school only, because you're going to learn a lot, but you want to learn from all different vantage points. And plus, someone might explain something different. Like, I know when I was a kid in school, or even in wrestling school, someone would try and teach me a move. Some people learn better by watching. Some people learn better by doing it themselves. Some people learn better by having it explained to. So there's all these different options as what's going to make you good. And I also believe there should be more wrestling schools in Ontario, but not just any guy that hasn't been anywhere to open them. Like, if you have a name with respect and you know a lot, there's a lot of towns that don't have wrestling school, or even promotions for that matter. Wrestling in Ontario is booming right now. Let's see some more schools and promotions popped up. There's a lot of big cities there that are not represented that could be. And it's also I can't say which are the best or the worst schools, but maybe it's just whatever one's closest to you. So you got to look at it that way as well. Like, some people have jobs, so they can only go right after work. So maybe you got to go to the one closest to you. But I have heard nothing but good things about all these schools so far, and I just want to say props to you guys. They're training the next generation of Ontario wrestlers the right way, and it's a good look for Ontario as a whole in general. And go check out these schools. If you're a student at one of these schools, then comment and tell me what you've learned and what you like about the training, and help put over these schools, because when people give their what's the word I'm looking for? When they say something about a product or someone and they just give their own opinion about it and vouch for it. Testimonial. Give your testimonial. Tell me why you like your school. And then other people can see that and see if it'd be for them, because there's a lot of people that want to get in the business nowadays. So we have a lot of good options out there for you to do it. I'm just proud of Ontario right now. and it just makes me happy to see how far it's come. Like, when I broke in, there was only like 3 schools. Of course, I had to choose the worst one, but you know what? Things ended up working out for me, so I'm not bitter. I don't have any regrets. Now, remember, like, or you get a leg drop. Comment, or you get a clothesline. Subscribe, or you get a suplex. I'm your host, Elian Habanero. I love wrestling. Cuba!